This is the Hollywood Outsider, a weekly entertainment podcast where this week we're going to look at upcoming releases Playing for Keeps and Deadfall. We're going to have spoiler-free reviews of Red Dawn and Life of Pi. Our From the Outside In topic this week is Christmas movies, TV shows, or traditions that we just do not understand the appeal. The latest in movie and TV news as always, including our own trivia and flashback DVD segments. My name is Aaron Peterson. With me today, I'm a fellow host, Justin McCumber.
Pussy wagon.
He got the Tarantino edition. We'll get to that in a second. Brian Williams.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much. And Scott Clark returns.
2 more days and this mustache is gone.
Yeah, Scott has a Movember mustache that looks so creepy.
Yeah,
it's gotten worse.
It's gotten pretty
Does
bad.
he have to go around from house to house letting them know he's in the neighborhood?
He should, man. It's really bad. Now, what did you get? You got the Quentin Tarantino collection on Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's called like The Collection or 20, because on the box it's written Tarantino and then XX, of course, 20 years in filmmaking. But it's a collected box set, Blu-rays of all of his films up to this point, including True Romance, which he wrote, and then 2 discs of behind-the-scenes featurettes that I have not had a chance to look at yet, but I cannot wait to dive into it. It's 10 Blu-rays, and Best Buy had it for like $89. I had some Best Buy reward bucks, so it didn't cost me nearly that much, and brought it home. Can't wait to dive into it.
Sweet. But they don't have From Dusk Till Dawn.
No, not From Dusk Till Dawn. If they hadn't put in True Romance, that wouldn't have been a little bit, a bit of an omission. But considering that they did put True Romance in, it's kind of odd that they wouldn't have included From Dusk Till Dawn. But who knows what sorts of rights issues are involved and that sort of thing.
So before we get into the meat of the show, what was the best Black Friday deal we had? Or Cyber Monday, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I was all excited about my $4 Tarantino Blu-rays that I got. I got Kill Bill 1 and 2 and Pulp Fiction for $4 each, but I feel kind of pale up there.
They're pretty weak now.
I did too until we heard about Mr. Fancy Pants and his fancy collection. I
ordered season 7 of Supernatural from Amazon for like $19.99 on Blu-ray, and that's dirt cheap.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I did get the Alien quadrilogy for $20.
Yeah.
And then because I'm a completionist, I got Prometheus.
Nice.
Brian, did you get anything?
Nah, I started to do the same thing, but I just kind of figured that it would still look weird with a box set and then Prometheus next to it. So I'm going to hold out for like a complete Alien set.
I'd be willing to bet, because you know how Ridley Scott's always talking that it's not an actual prequel and all this stuff, that he won't, like, he'll put the kibosh on that and not let it happen.
The kibosh?
Mm-hmm. That's a word.
Is it? Is it kibosh or kibosh?
It's not posthumous, but hey.
Hey, congratulations. That's nice. We should go see a biopic together.
Scotty,
you said it
what
right.
movie was it that you were saying? Oh, Sucker Punch. Did you actually order it?
I did. It's actually sitting in my collection. I did get Sucker Punch for $4 too, which...
Oh, on Blu-ray, that movie is gorgeous.
Yeah. I did actually... I rented it on Blu-ray, and it's a ridiculous movie, but it's pretty.
If you saw how many Blu-rays showed up on the Amazon guy, I should know by name, and I should have his autograph by now. Because he's been showing up for the last couple of days. He's like, bam, bam. I got Battleship, Brave, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire. I got a bunch of them.
Didn't you get Brave for
Battleship?
$9?
Yep.
Really?
I liked Battleship. Fuck you.
It was fine, but...
It was good. I mean, it was entertaining and fun, but I don't know if I want to pay $20-25 for it.
I didn't. I paid $8 for it.
Okay, 8 I would give.
See? So, shh.
Shut your faces.
And I woke up Friday morning, and obviously I was very tired from all the clicking, from my Black Friday sales. And everywhere I turned, Christmas commercials already.
Oh, they were already...
Isn't it nice?
Oh, my God. So exhausting.
It was better this year, though, as far as not...
Where was it better? Everywhere I turned.
I'm talking about as far as pre-Thanksgiving. There wasn't Christmas music everywhere. There wasn't...
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You know what I'm saying? It was like retailers finally said, some people are really sick of this. Starting at Halloween, playing Christmas music. I was really excited about that, actually.
Well, let's start with the movie news. That's too much. We'll have plenty of Christmas talk. Thankfully, from us, we'll stop talking about Christmas come the middle of the month because obviously, we like to clear a couple of weeks. Since you might not listen for a week or two.
We could sing Christmas carols, the quartet.
We could. I don't know any.
You don't know any Christmas carols?
I know Silent Night, but I know the movie better, so I might start stabbing you in the middle of it. Bryan Singer. Okay, this is big news. Everybody's very excited. Bryan Singer himself confirmed that Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are back on board for X-Men Days of Future Past.
It only makes sense because this is Days of Future Past. It's a story that involves time travel from the past to the future. So having those two actors who have already established themselves in the roles of Xavier and Magneto, having them on to play those characters in their older selves makes sense. And I'm really glad that they were able to get those guys locked in on contract. Because if they'd actually had to hire different people to play older versions of those characters, it just wouldn't have felt right. Mm-hmm. Now it feels right.
What do you think they're going to get Wolverine?
No, because he's not a part of the, well, God, you know,
he was part of that. Yeah, he was part of that
X-Men.
series.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was part of Days of Future Past.
He was a future X-Men. I was thinking more the X-Men of the First Class era, but no, if the older Magneto and Xavier are there, then Wolverine, should be there too. I don't know. Hell, I mean, then again, are they going to get Famke Janssen and everybody else who was an X-Man? It'd be a great idea for cameos, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it'd be really cool, though, but we haven't had any confirmation of people other than Stewart and McKellen.
I think it's great if they're going the route where we're going to go into the future, so therefore we have the people that played these characters in the future. That I think is really good. If they're going to do it for nostalgia factor, or they're going to start popping up cameos from the original 3 films, I don't want to see that. That to me would be taken away from the First Class films, and I don't want that.
We already had a Wolverine cameo in the first film, and it was funny.
Great. Yeah, it was funny, but if you overdo it, it stops being funny. It starts being distracting.
Well, but then at what point would, how much time could these characters from the original 3 films spend in this one before this just becomes their film and not a first-class younger version of them film? I think there's a very fine line between, hey, that's kind of cool that they're in this, and, oh, shit, are they going to be in this the whole time, and is this just not that movie now?
Well, I think you're having a geekgasm because you want all the X-Men to show up.
Yeah, I don't care, man. Just put Fassbender, put James McAvoy, Ian McKellen, and Patrick Stewart. You put all 4 of them in it. Bring in whoever you want. Just pick and choose who you want from each era. I'm fine with it.
It's just too bad they can't redo the 3rd film and put McAvoy in as the computer CGI'd, smoothed version of Patrick Stewart's young Professor Xavier.
I would like
man, the amount of CG they put into that, he almost looked like Gollum, so smooth.
Put George Lucas in charge. He might be able to figure that out.
Maybe.
He's free.
And then
he's not working.
Shut your face.
Zero Dark 30 director Catherine Bigelow and writer Mark Bowl deny ever receiving any now this isn't what they said originally, but whatever. Deny ever receiving any confidential info on the Bin Laden raid, so we can stop all the conspiracy theories, please.
Yeah, whatever. This is BS. You can't make a hour and a half, 2-hour movie about this type of stuff without having classified details.
That quickly,
exactly. There's just no way. I mean, whatever. They've got to deny it. I'm sure. Fine, go ahead. I don't believe them. I also don't believe it's some sort of political election year conspiracy bullshit either. So,
yeah, I mean, if this had come out before the election, that kind of an argument would have had a lot more teeth to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing that cracks me up is they're filming the movie right after, he gets shot and they got a camera up. I mean, they were moving really quick. So the fact that, oh no, we had no insider, you had something. There's no way, unless you're making most of this up, and there's no way. They had something, and they were originally touting that, like, oh, we got some inside scoop, and that's how we're getting this movie made. And now I think that the election's over. They're trying to distance themselves. Maybe I don't know. Somebody got involved and said, "Hey, simmer down, man." But we'll see.
Those CIA documents you all signed, they will kill your family.
We've actually got them in holding until the film's released.
Right.
Ridley Scott has tapped Hansel and Gretel writer D.W. Harper to adapt The Forever War. It's a 70s novel, actually, about a soldier who battles an enemy in space only to return 20 years later to find an Earth he no longer knows. And Ridley Scott plans to direct it.
You had me at Ridley Scott in space.
Really, that's all it takes?
That's pretty much all it takes. I think it sounds really interesting, though, too. It's kind of a spin on time travel, even though he's not really time traveling.
Yeah, because he's actually only in space to him a few months, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I'm assuming.
No, that's what it says.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
And so him coming back 20 years later to see the world completely different. That's kind of a clever little spin.
And this is called what?
The Forever War.
No, the scientific term for that time dilation effect.
I don't know.
The twin paradox. Thank you very much.
Your golf clap. Justin made us all feel stupid.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Stephen Hawking.
I am thankful.
It's all those years of researching for science fiction.
No,
Thank you, Justin, for all your help.
Oh, man, your robot's about as bad as your other voices.
No, I haven't seen, obviously, Hansel and Gretel, which is
Witch Hunters.
The Witch Hunters. But I kind of hope that this story isn't as tongue-in-cheek as the trailer is making that appear to be. Mm-hmm. It sounds like it should be a more serious story, so I can't really speak to whether or not I'm excited about that writer being in it, but I don't know.
I am excited about Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters because I went to the theater and they have the largest display of Gemma Arterton I've ever seen in my life, and she looks fantastic. I don't even care what the movie's about anymore. I'm sold.
She's so pretty.
She is adorable.
And the Red Man trailer for that movie is
whatever.
fantastic.
Giant Gemma Arterton at my theater. I want to go see a movie, and I don't even know what's playing. I don't care.
You can't make fun of me for liking an actress anymore, for liking a movie because an actress.
No, because I never say I like them because they're cute. I'm just telling you, I think she's cute. I don't care about the movie. I just want to go look at her poster. You say she's a great actress because she's cute. That I can make fun of.
When have I ever said that?
You say that every time you mention an actress.
Just about every week.
Yeah, every single time. You are Archie Bunker. That's who you are.
We will have a special outtake section just of you saying those.
Just of you being a chauvinist. There you go. Congratulations.
Scott
Way
the
to go,
Pig.
way to go, pig.
God.
Scott the Pig. It's a new podcast.
We finally have this made Justin squee. We finally have the synopsis of the new Star Trek Into the Darkness. After months of speculation, please, Justin, however you wish to describe it.
When the crew of the Enterprise is called back home, they find an unstoppable force of terror from within their own organization has detonated the fleet and everything it stands for, leaving our world in a state of crisis. With a personal score to settle, Captain Kirk leads a manhunt to a war-zone world to capture a one-man weapon of mass destruction. As our heroes are propelled into an epic chess game of life and death, love will be challenged, friendships will be torn apart, and sacrifices must be made for the only family Kirk has left, his crew.
You're really
Sounds
good at
fucking awesome.
You should do audiobooks. You're actually pretty good at it.
No. Has it been confirmed that, what's his name again, Brian? Benedict Cumberbatch. That was a joke open for you, but fuck
Right.
it.
Wow.
Is it been confirmed that he's playing Khan?
I haven't heard any confirmation. I've heard some rumors, but I haven't heard any confirmation on it.
Yeah, that seemed to be the rumor for a long while. If this, what I'm reading, is actually true, that sounds even more like it would be Khan. But now Khan in a different role. This sounds really badass. I want to see this. Please, J.J. Abrams, put it in my eyeballs as quickly as possible.
Put it in my eyeballs.
Now, the article I was reading said something about they were thinking that maybe Benedict Cumberbatch's character was actually a former crew member, or because
They don't know.
in the picture,
They're
it looks
actually
like
being
he's-
very, very. They're still being very covered over what his role is. Because obviously, whatever it is, if it's Khan or if it's something else, they want to keep that a secret until at least closer to
Well,
launch.
if you look at the picture, it looks like he's got the little insignia on his shirt.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of speculation.
I know.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. I think maybe he's actually Nimoy. Who knows? A character called Nimoy. That's my solution. That was dumb. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to edit that bit of dumbness out.
You shut it. Why don't you do some more dramatic readings by Justin McCumber?
Okay.
No.
Let me know when you want me to kick in.
Lenny Kravitz.
In a world.
Lenny Kravitz is set to play Marvin Gaye in director Julian Temple's biopic.
Thank you so much for saying it right.
Yeah, I had to stop myself.
Biopic. You got to think about it every time.
I do, because I was like, biopic, shit, biopic.
Biopic. It's like a surgical procedure.
I can't see no more. I got a biopic.
But seriously, I'm so tired of hearing about a new biopic. It seems like every week we're talking about another one.
Marvin Gaye's a great singer. I love his story.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Lenny Kravitz was perfect for that role. I'm just so tired of hearing about a new movie about somebody's life story. It's just like...
Are you jealous because they're not making it about Scott Clark?
No, because that won't happen. I fully accept that. I mean, Lenny
way
Kravitz
to give up on life, man.
But Lenny Kravitz was awesome in Hunger Games. I'm looking forward to seeing him in a lead role, a much more prominent role than that kind of smaller role he had. I can't think of anybody else better to play Marvin Gaye, to be honest with you, because he's a great musician. So that could be really, really cool.
I think it's a big role for him, but I agree with you. I want him to have his own movie because I think he was great. He's got charisma up the ass. I mean, he was fantastic. In that small role, he was great.
That just sounded creepy.
Scott actually started smiling very awkwardly.
It's just the mustache.
It's the mustache. But I just want him to have. I want him to have his own film. I think he's one guy that could carry a movie. I mean, you've got so many. He's a Will Smith. He's a guy that can leave that arena of music and come into acting and actually make a difference.
Yeah, but you can probably pronounce Earth correctly.
Yeah,
he can, motherfucker. Earth. I'd be a lot more interested if this was Marvin Gaye, Zombie Stomper.
What? Zombies?
Oh yeah, just breaking out in a "Let's Get It On" with then just start blowing away some zombies.
Even though that was Al Green, I'll let that go. Thanks.
Al Green.
Brian, what were you going to say?
Let's get it on.
Yeah.
Was it Al Green or was it Marvin Gaye?
No, that was Al Green.
That was Al Green.
All right.
Brian, did you have something to add?
Well, not that he just totally shut me down. So it's all right.
You mad,
Justin
bro?
gave me a swift kick to the nuts there. So
Now that I just shit in his mouth,
that's all right.
Right now I feel bad.
Oh, you should.
No, you don't.
I would almost believe you if I didn't know you.
The A-Team and the Grey director Joe Carnahan is in final talks for Undying Love. Please listen to this because I don't know if I can say it more than once. It's about a man who falls for a vampire, and the only way to save her is by fighting a wave of vampires in the Hong Kong underworld. Kate Beckinsale is not part of this film.
Man, if it was just about anybody but Joe Carnahan, I would just roll my eyes and just probably stab myself. But
it's very dramatic.
Yeah, I'm the whole vampire thing is just about played out, and I'm getting kind of tired of it. But I guess the fact that they bring this Hong Kong underworld with some Chinese mythological monsters and stuff like that into play, it's kind of an interesting twist. I don't know how much of the love story it's going to be played up, or how much of the action. If it's a kind of a 50-50 thing, I can live with that. But if it's another quote-unquote franchise where they take 3 or 4 movies to build up to something that actually is worth watching, then whatever, I'll pass.
We need a break from vampires, seriously.
Vampires and zombies. I want them both to stop. You disagree, don't you?
Well, no, I'll wait till y'all are done with this. I have something I need to add.
You can add right now because I'm done with it.
Oh, are you? Okay. I normally hate to do this.
He's wrong.
But I kind of have to do it.
He's wrong. He's just texting it to you.
I was wrong.
Whoa!
Let's Get It On was by Marvin Gaye.
Oh,
Al Green did Let's Stay Together.
Well, that would still make you wrong.
So I was wrong. And I'm a man who will own up to when he fucks up. I fucked up. So, Brian, on behalf of myself and Aaron, who falsely backed me up,
so please, Justin, kiss these nuts that you just kicked me in.
Yes, I apologize. So,
You know why I remember that for sure? The
Why?
movie High Fidelity.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. What's more important is Justin admitted he was wrong.
You had that on your recording, right?
Yeah, and I'm writing the time and the date and everything down.
I just mostly didn't want to get fucking emails from people rubbing my face and how wrong I was. Let me go ahead and get that over with now. I know.
I think we need to make a YouTube.
I think I should edit this part out.
Just delete your emails.
Yeah,
now.
I agree. Just cut that part out.
Edit him saying he's wrong so we get tons of emails telling Justin how stupid he is.
Yeah. Or no, cut that out and make a YouTube clip of it. The whole thing.
Or, we can make money and you can make like a ringtone out of it.
All right. We will talk a little bit about that Justice League Batman casting rumor, but we're going to do it at the end of the show because unlike a lot of people who are douches, it is directly a spoiler to the ending of Dark Knight Rises, and we don't want to discuss it. And so we'll do that at the end of the show.
Welcome to Brian's Trailer Park. From the production company that brought you Paranormal Activity and apparently They Hate Children, comes Dark Skies, which is releasing February 22nd, 2013. Dark Skies is a psychological thriller where an alien presence terrorizes some kids until the family is basically self-inducing isolation on itself because pretty much nobody's believing them and giving them the stink eye and stuff. So they decide to take matters into their own hands and then, of course, take on the aliens or the alien presence, whatever that may be at that time. So, Aaron, I know you hate kids, at least your own. Would you like to see them terrorized by aliens or just kind of settle for some Dark Skies instead?
I kind of want to leave them in a cornfield and just see what happens. See if they can make it. Fend for yourselves. It's a good time to learn self-reliance, kids. I think the trailer looks great. It was different. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I know the title's really cheesy, but I really got into it, and I'm not really one that gets into those alien or paranormal, whatever it is, flicks. But as it goes on, I'm really interested in what the story is, and I really want to know exactly what's going on with this house or the kids or the family or whatever it is. So I'm really into it. And you guys should check the trailer out. It looks really good.
Oh, it is good. I just think that with them lauding it as by the makers of Paranormal Activity and Insidious and stuff like that people are going to go and expecting those kind of scares. Mm-hmm. And I think this one's actually, even though the trailer had some jump stuff in it or some creepy things in it, it looks like it's more about the story instead of the creepy factor.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's going to draw in a lot of those people that like those other movies.
Yeah, but it's about a movie. I mean, it's a movie about a family that's being pestered by something that they don't understand, and you even have the alarm system, and it's all taking place basically in a house and just outside the house. It really feels like a Paranormal Activity, but instead of a demonic entity, it's an alien entity.
So in Georgia, is a full-on alien ass raping called pestering? Because it looks like these people are getting pretty well probed hard.
I'd missed the anal scenes, so apparently I was given a wrong link to the red band trailer, or to the green band versus the red band trailer.
These people look fucked. This is a fantastic trailer. I had no idea what to expect going into it, and by the time it was done, I was like, yes, please bring me that movie. I would like to see that right now. It looks really good.
It has the potential to leave me hanging with a story, though, at the end.
I'm bored. This is one from the trailer I would go see in a theater.
Yeah.
Opening weekend.
All right. Well,
probing and all.
Probing and all.
I like a little probing on my Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Brian, don't pester me.
Yeah. If Brian ever asks you to come over so he can pester you.
Look out.
All right. Well, Brad Pitt headlines our next movie, the Guy Ritchie drama about a gypsy bare knuckle brawler who, wait, never mind. Wrong. My bad. That was Snatch.
I was like, what the fuck is he talking?
So was I. I'm like,
what format did you get? Is it 2004?
My bad. That was Snatch. This one is Snitch. Typo.
That was the hardest working joke I've heard in a long time.
Anyway, as I was saying, The Rock stars in Snitch, and where he plays. Hey, shut up. Where he plays in Snitch, where he plays a father desperate to prove his son is falsely accused of drug distribution charges. So he makes a deal with a big U.S. attorney to go undercover in the drug cartel to clear his son's name. So Snitch is coming to theaters basically the same weekend as Dark Skies, which is February 22nd, 2013, if you forgot that already. So, Justin, I know you've got a huge man crush on The Rock, otherwise a.k.a. Dwayne Johnson. So how did this one get you?
I wanted to like it more than I did. I think I prefer my man love to be a little less earnest in his action and just a little more brutal and bloodthirsty. And this one, playing the father, wanting to do right by his son, it kind of softens him as a character, as an actor, the character he's playing. But the stunt work in this film looks fantastic. They showed a few car stunts that really just shocked me with how good they were, but not over the top Hollywood type where a car taps a post and explodes like a nuclear bomb's been under it. All in all, it looks cool, and I'll definitely watch it when it comes out on video. I wasn't as driven, though, pardon the pun, to see it in theaters.
I'm just glad he's not doing like babysitter movies anymore and actually kind of doing something a little more gritty. But and I like the aspect of him kind of being stuck in the middle between, both sides of a drug war. It's kind of an interesting take on it.
I like the concept, and I like The Rock a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Rock, actually. I wouldn't date him, but, I'd hang out with him a lot.
You'd hit it once and quit it?
Yeah, I'd hit it and quit it. But this movie looks generic. The action scenes look really good, and I like the idea that he's trying to play a father. I think that's really cool, because I think he has acting ability, and he doesn't get to show up very often in the stuff he chooses to do. But this movie looked generic. It looked like a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, with a different cast, this would look like one of those Val Kilmer or Steven Seagal and 50 Cent, type of movies.
It does.
Yeah, there's nothing that lends itself to Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, very much. I agree with Justin. If he's going to do an action flick, I want him to be balls out, just run. Like when what was that one he did not too recently?
Fast Five.
No, not just that one. The one where he headlined it. Faster. It was called Faster.
Right.
That was one of those. It wasn't a great movie, but it was him being a brutal badass, and it worked because he's great at that. If he's going to do something a little more dramatic, then I want him to find something that's not an action flick. Because when I see him in an action flick, I want him beating somebody's ass left and right.
Yeah, but he's trying to get out of that paradigm of I'm a former wrestler and
then you
just
need to
an
pick
action
better
star.
quality than what this trailer looks like, because it looks like a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Well, I understand the final product looks that way, but I mean, on paper, that probably looked like he was taking a good direction, that halfway between action star and good writing. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
actually somewhat interesting. Leans more.
It might be a better movie than the trailer lets on, too.
Mm-hmm.
He might. I think he has the chops to carry the drama of it, and it's got Susan Sarandon in it. So you got some quality actors in it. So
Billy Pepper?
yeah, I like him quite a bit. He's actually pretty good.
But like you said, it's not enough to get me in the theater. I might DVD it, but
Comes out the same weekend as Dark Skies. I'm going to go get Alien Scared.
yeah, I agree.
I'm going to get probed.
I'm going to get pestered.
I'm going to get pestered, yep.
Going to get pestered. All right. All right. Well, tell us what you want to hear. Follow us on Twitter at H_outsider. Go to Facebook.com/The Hollywood Outsider and click the like button. And of course, if you got a lot more to say, our email is always feedback@TheHollywoodOutsider.com. And don't forget, you can get your I'm a Ho t-shirts at TheHollywoodOutsider.com.
Stump the Hoe.
Each week, one of our hosts poses a trivia question to the remaining hosts in an attempt to stump their fellow hosts, Ho meaning Hollywood Outsider. This week, it's a listener's turn. Actually, they emailed us a question, so we're going to do theirs. You guys ready?
Ready?
Ready.
This comes from Sean M. Sean says, as all of you are fans of The Walking Dead, I thought I would give you a stump the Ho question. As you know, the writer-creator of the Walking Dead series, who is now departed from Walking Dead series, is Frank Darabont. What you may not remember is he is also the writer and director of Justin's favorite flick, Stephen King's theatrical adaptation of The Mist in 2007. In that movie, there are actors that later went on to star in The Walking Dead. How many of them are in both The Walking Dead and The Mist? A5, B7, C11, D3. Justin.
I'm going to go with A5.
A. Scotty?
Man, this is a total guess for me because I'm still only halfway through season 2, so probably a lot of characters I haven't seen yet. I'm going to go B.
B7, Scott? Or Brian? Can I pester you
Wow.
for an answer?
Gosh. I'll go with 3.
Okay. Brian says 3. We'll find out the answer a little later on in the show. He also said that Mist was a good movie and you either love the ending or hate it. Thanks for playing, Sean.
Hated it.
Love it.
Loved it. Okay, let's go to the big screen and review any recent releases. The first one is Red Dawn. Wolverines. Scott, tell us about Wolverine. I mean, Red Dawn. I just call it Wolverines.
Well, Red Dawn is the remake of the 1984 film of the same name, starring a very young Patrick Swayze. The story in this one takes place in Spokane, Washington.
Because if you're going to take over America, Spokane is where you want to start.
Well, the vampires are near there, too. So,
That's true. Get them on your side.
the two brothers, Matt and Jed Eckert. Matt is a quarterback for the high school's Wolverines. That's their team mascot. Jed is recently returned from military. All right, so like I said, Matt is a quarterback for the high school. He loses a football game, goes home to sleep it off. The next morning, all hell has broken loose. There are paratroopers, there's bombers, there's planes exploding in the sky. The country's being invaded. We eventually learn that it's North Korea. Matt and Jed basically escape town along with a bunch of their high school buddies, I'm trying to do this without spoiling anything. Well, actually, you've seen it in the trailer. They see their father killed. It's in the trailer. So if I'm spoiling that, big deal.
If I'm spoiling that giant nugget, then too bad.
It was in the trailer.
It is in the trailer. It's in the commercial.
So they see their father murdered. So they're obviously up for revenge, and they want to do something about this. They decide to uprise against the enemy and join with their high school buddies. Jed, with his military experience, trains all of these students to fight a war basically against the North Koreans. They rise up and call themselves the Wolverines, based on their high school mascot. That's the basic premise of this story. Now, I want to start talking a little bit about the acting, because I think this is one of the most interesting things about this movie. Chris Hemsworth plays the lead, Jed Eckert. His brother is played by a guy named Josh Peck. Now, Aaron, you and I talked a little bit about this. How do you feel about the performances in this movie, particularly the two leads?
Well, first, I got to mention the story. It's North Korea that you're talking about. North Korea came to take over a portion of the U.S., and they allude to their work in unison with another country. Okay, fine. But the overwhelming logic of this shit made me giggle. I was giggling. I'm like, it's theoretically impossible. North Korea is roughly the size of Connecticut or something, and they could not take over. They couldn't even take over their own country. They can't, like I think Justin or Brian said, they couldn't even take over South Korea. How the fuck are they going to take over half of the Pacific Northwest? Whatever. You got to let that shit pass. This is one of those movies that it's kind of like Battleship. If you can check your brain at the door, you might be able to like it. Mm-hmm. If you can't check your brain at the door, this is the worst kind of movie you can see, Justin, because the logic makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Zero sense. The whole time you're watching it, you're like, that can't happen, that's impossible, that can't happen. These kids wouldn't make any difference because they'd all be dead. Mm-hmm. And they'd be dead by Chinese because North Koreans can't do this. The acting, Chris Hemsworth, I mean, he comes out of this movie looking like Anthony fucking Hopkins.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
He's great. The guy's got charisma for days. He's Thor in the movie. He's a big ass kicking machine, and he knows military protocol. He knows how to get it done. Josh Peck, who plays his brother, no bueno. Don't like him. The guy has no charisma. He should not be involved in the military. Honestly, they should have shot him first because he's kind of like a whiny. He's like Patrick Dempsey in the 80s. You know what I mean? He's a little whiny shit. I'm not a fan of him. They try way too hard to make him grow from this boy into a man. In fact, there's portions where he reiterates the same dialogue that his brother does, and they're obviously trying to emulate that, or to say that he's trying to emulate his brother, and look how far he's come. And it's so bad because it just doesn't work, man. Chris Hemsworth is your brother. Honestly, just let him talk. Everybody else just be quiet. Let Chris Hemsworth talk. Let Daddy get it done. You know what I mean?
And it's too bad because you told me that you saw it before I did and mentioned that some of the poor acting, and I went into it, and he started out okay as the high school kid and the football player. He was okay, but then when it started getting serious and he was trying to be dramatic, it was laughably bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean,
the acting outside of Chris Hemsworth is like a CW movie. It's one of those movies where all the actors are pretty and that's it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I agree.
What do you think about the direction?
I enjoyed the direction, like you said earlier. It is what it is. It's just a fun sit back and eat your popcorn and action flick. It's not Oscar anything. It's a bunch of stuff blowing up. It's a very hoorah kind of movie, but not in a military kind of way. In a kind of bring it home kind of way. It's just fun. The effects at the beginning, they looked okay. They looked terrible. With the
I actually thought they were fine. I thought the effects were pretty good.
I just wanted more stuff like that. I didn't get that sense of dread that I did when I saw the original. Mm-hmm. Like, oh shit, there's guys.
Honestly, when the original came out, there was a lot more of a threat. I mean,
right.
You actually thought the Russians might attack at some point.
Right, exactly. And I kind of missed that
feeling.
Expect it. What's that?
I still expect it.
It could happen. I know who won't attack. The fucking North Koreans. That's who.
I just wanted to see more of that. There was a lot of action and that kind of thing, but I wanted to see them. I didn't get that sense of a big country taking over us, even though they're not a big country. But I didn't get that overwhelming sense of there's something bad.
And the worst part about it, and it's hard, I can't say it without really, I hate spoiling because the plot isn't very thin or very thick. But there comes a point where they explain exactly what the North Koreans' plan is and how the country is being conquered and whatnot. And I get what they were going for. They're going for a chess game illusion, and I just don't buy it. It just does not make sense. It's idiotic, so I totally had to check the plot at the door. Mm-hmm. The action, though, is actually, I thought, pretty decent. I thought it was competent. Some of the special effects were pretty good. It's very much like an 80s action film. I mean, it's filmed very direct. It's very simple. There's no real flashy effects. It's just, but it was very competent. I thought he did a good job. Dan Bradley did a good job of keeping the movie moving forward.
I did like how they made the actors who are playing high schoolers move around like military. Mm-hmm. Although you got to have that suspension of disbelief, because is this one guy going to train these guys to look that military focused in less than a month or something?
I think roughly about 6 hours.
Yeah.
He made them Marine recruits in 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's what you got to do, and then suddenly they're hitting bullseyes.
Right.
Like I said, it's a movie you have to check your brain at the door. It's meant to be dumb and fun.
So what do you think overall? What's your take on it?
Overall, I think we made so much fun of this movie, and we've said a lot of bad things about it, but the plot borders on mentally delayed. It really does. The acting outside of Hemsworth is ridiculous, but what it does do is deliver 2 hours of escapism. It's actually a fun little flick, even though all that stuff is bad. It's still a little fun movie. I mean, you kind of get into it, and you're like, all right, that's stupid, but I can buy it. Mm-hmm. And if $10 is the full price of admission, I give it $6.
Oh wow! I went into this movie expecting very little, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. It's one of those movies, like Aaron said, you sit back and enjoy the ride. There's no big surprises. You know the story. There actually is one kind of cool surprise at the end. That
there's a big surprise at the end.
You get what you expect. It's just a fun thrill ride. The acting was terrible. The story is goofy, but that's, you go into it expecting that it's going to be okay. It's not nearly as bad as the critics are making it out to be. It's still far from a great film. I actually give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay, Brian.
Yes.
You saw Life of Pi. How was Life of Pi? Was it delicious?
Wow, dude. Please leave the jokes to Justin, because you just can't. You just don't bring it quite as well. Basically, Life of Pi was the general plot is Pi and his family are on a ship from India to Canada. They're moving from one place to the other with their zoo animals that they've been owning for the last so many years. But they hit a storm, ship sinks, and Pi and a few animals end up in a lifeboat, basically the only survivors of this sinking ship, sort of a mini Noah's Ark thing going on. And the main bulk of the story kind of deals with their struggle for survival. And as a young boy, Pi's kind of his hobby is religion. And he basically becomes a devout Christian, Muslim, Hindu, and while on this little Pacific Ocean saga that he's on, he kind of begins to question his faith, and pretty much as I think just about anybody would. While the movie's got the potential to be a kind of a overblown phone booth type movie, where how long can you make a movie for just when you got the whole setting is in a little tight space, like a life raft, so to speak. The primary story basically involves a boy and a tiger that's trapped in his boat for, like I say, 2/3 of the movie. But it does a good job of bouncing back and forth from the current to the past, since basically it's a narrative story told by an older Pi who's describing his story to this novelist. So as far as the acting, the kid that plays Pi might get some recognition around Golden Globe or Oscar time. I don't think he'll be a household name anytime soon. Mm-hmm. I mean, that said, he really did a kind of a fantastic job kind of portraying the evolution, so to speak, and growth from this kind of curious kid to this spiritually aware adult, so to speak, like I said, kind of in a spiritual way. The 3D in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. It's probably one of the better 3D movies this year. A couple of the parts kind of make me jump, because it really kind of felt like it was coming out at the screen. And as far as the use of color in this was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it was almost like one of those cartoons like Finding Nemo. It was just that beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. And the CGI with the animals was spot on. Very I mean, you really kind of felt like this guy and his tiger were just right there with each other. So.
Is it more a visual movie than it is a really story-driven movie?
It really is. It really is. It's worth going to see just to see the pretty pictures. It is a pretty picture movie. Like I said, kind of while the visuals are very beautiful, the acting is pretty much above par. I really wasn't particularly moved too much by it. I did kind of notice there was a lot of talk about this movie's great. I was really, anybody that's any curious at all about religion should really see this. I don't know if that's necessarily, the truth. It's an Ang Lee movie.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just another bad Ang Lee movie.
It sounds like you liked it.
I did. I liked it more than I didn't like it. It's going to get a lot of Oscar talk for a few things, especially special effects. But I think it'll probably get nominated for Movie of the Year, Best Movie, probably Best Director, and I would imagine Best Male Actor. But I don't think it's really worthy of all that. I think it's one of those, it gets nominated by default just for the subject matter, the director, and how much it costs to make.
Okay, I gotcha.
So it is a little bit emotional.
Did you cry?
There is an odd twist in the movie that it really just kind of took me out of the movie. It's kind of like you didn't need this in the movie. Why did you even go here? It makes no sense. It's got nothing to do with the rest of the movie. But I mean, all that said, it is worth seeing in 3D. And out of the $10, I'd give it a 6.5.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's like I say, it is one of those that for every good thing I can say about it, there is something bad. But I kind of lean towards the good in this one because it is a stunning movie to watch, and the 3D is absolutely phenomenal.
You are not selling me, sir. I do not want to pay for pretty pictures and nothing involving.
Sounds like one that I'd like to see on Blu-ray, maybe. But
I still have no desire to see it, and Brian makes it sound exactly for the reasons that I thought. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, it's one of those. I was hoping for more. I just didn't get it. All that said, it is entertaining. It is very beautiful. I just wouldn't rush out to see it.
Okay.
They should reprint the posters. Quote, I liked it more than I didn't like it. Brian Williams.
It's just enough to kind of edge the needle to the right a little bit more than to the left. That's all.
Okay. That's fair enough. Scotty, you saw Seeking a Friend of the End of the World on DVD?
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, just really quick. This is on DVD. You can watch it now. You guys all know I like disaster movies, and I've always wanted to see a disaster movie that had a little bit of heart with it, especially after that turd that was Melancholia.
Are you saying Armageddon didn't have some heart?
It did.
I cried at Armageddon.
Different kind of heart. It stars Steve Carell and Keira Knightley. The story is basically the world is coming to an end because of a meteor is coming to destroy it. The two of them are an unlikely duo. They become friends and basically outlive these last 3 weeks together. At its base core, that's the whole story of the movie. But what this movie does awesome is it drops you right in the middle of the disaster as opposed to the stuff leading up to it. So you don't ever have those, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Everybody at this point has already accepted it, which is really fantastic. I've never seen in a movie. Mm-hmm. The two of them, like I said, are unlikely because, number one, the age difference, and they come from two different worlds with a little bit of development you see from them. And there's some little side stories with each of them that really make this movie work well. And I don't want to oversell this movie too much, but guys, I love this movie. It was seriously fantastic. It has.
I don't want to oversell it, but I'm using words like awesome, fantastic, and fabulous.
It's one of those movies that
you should just do angel singing at this point.
I know, and it's one of those things that if I say too much, you're gonna not want to go see it. But just seriously check this movie out. It has so much heart. I was seriously surprised at how much I liked it. The story goes some places towards the end that I just didn't expect it. Really, really touching, and the acting was phenomenal.
Does the meteor go a little bit to the left?
Steve Carell does the really good job of playing the downtrodden male character. Mm-hmm. You know, like we saw that in Dan in Real Life.
The Scotty role, as we call it.
Yeah,
the
pretty
Scotty
much.
Role.
Pretty much. And he plays kind of that same role in this one, but and I'm trying to do this without spoiling anything, but things happen towards the end that just really bring that character around and give him a lot of depth, and it just really made you smile despite what's going on in the film. Mm-hmm. Just check it out. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
It's really good.
Lincoln we reviewed last week, so if you want to hear the full review, listen to Brian's review on episode 69.
Because it was awesome. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, your review or the movie?
Yeah. No, my review was awesome.
Oh, okay.
The movie's pretty good, but my review was awesome.
Okay, well, I did see it. I think Lincoln is a good movie, but honestly, I think the movie could have been about any president. I really don't think the movie's so much a biography of the man, but of the politics of getting the slavery amendment passed. But it's a very interesting way to do a biography because it's a lot different. See, I'm just avoiding biopic altogether because I don't have to worry about it. It's an interesting way to do a biography because the movie's not so much about Lincoln, how he became president, how he became who he is. It's more about he's already president. It already started. Here's how he got this important piece of legislation passed and all the things he had to do politically to do that. And I think that could have happened now. Our
So
president.
we're freeing slaves now.
Yeah, I mean, how many presidents freed the slaves?
Okay,
and
you know what I'm
ended the
saying.
Civil War.
Take any major
Just saying.
political incident. It's the same kind of concept. Daniel Day-Lewis is wonderful as Lincoln.
Thanks for
What are
downplaying
you
the
talking? That's like saying, "Fuck, G.I. Joe." That could have been about any war.
No,
really.
what I'm trying
Anywhere.
to tell you is the movie to me was not so much about the concept of slavery. It was about the politics of getting an important thing passed in the government and how he had to work so hard with both branches of the legislation to get it done. That's what I think the movie's about. It isn't so much about Abraham Lincoln and slavery. It's about him getting an important piece of legislation. That's what the movie's about, to me.
Yeah, but it's about him being
Yes,
one of the
I
few
realize
presidents in human history that actually found a way to work with both sides of government to do something that nobody ever thought could ever be done, and it really happened. And now we get to see, an artistic rendering of how that happened.
Yeah, I get that, Chief. I don't get how you're disproving what I'm saying.
I don't get what more could you have. I mean, I don't get how this could have been about anything.
I think.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying any movie could have been about anything.
I wasn't complaining. I was saying this is what the movie's about.
well,
It's
you were
not
kinda-
really
you
about
were
what you
kinda
think it is.
downplaying.
You were kind of complaining.
No, I wasn't complaining. You never let me
Your
finish.
tone was complaining, sir. And I will have our listeners send in emails backing me up on that.
Feedback
He had a snide
at
tone.
thehollywoodoutsider.com.
That's right.
I'm saying the movie could have been about just about any topic where an important piece of legislation was trying to get passed because the whole movie is about him working with the
That
Senate,
happens all the time.
with the Senate and the House to get things passed. It does happen all the time. Unfortunately,
No,
it just
it
doesn't.
doesn't, sadly.
It doesn't anymore. It used to. That said, I think Daniel Day-Lewis is wonderful as Lincoln. I think he made the president seem like a real person instead of just an acting challenge, which is what I was worried about. I thought it was going to be a piece of acting as opposed to a real character. He made it a real character. And Brian talked very much about how Lincoln told stories in the movie to kind of get people at ease, and he does a really wonderful job. He made me want to hear more stories, like Brian said. So I agree with that. That said, I don't think I'd watch it again because the film has very little replay value. Most biographies don't to me, so I give it 7 out of 10. The thing that cracked me up the most, and I told Brian this, but I'm watching this movie and the place is filled with people. The theater was packed. A lot of older people. I mean, like 50s, 60s, 70s. I'm assuming they've read a book or something, but everybody's on the edge of their seat when they're wondering if the slavery amendment's going to pass. And you okay? You need some chips?
Well, I just wanted something to go along with the story you're now telling. Thank you. It was going kind of long. I was getting hungry.
It's kind of your fault it went long. But anyway, I God damn it. I'm just saying it amazed me, the people that were... That to me says that the movie was really well made. If you can get the entire audience that already knows the outcome of this event to be on the edge of their seat wondering if it happens. That to me is impressive. It was very impressive.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Really? Okay, box office. Biggest Thanksgiving weekend ever. Ever in the history of Thanksgivings.
What?
Okay.
I thought Hollywood was losing money hand over fist.
Well, apparently they made it all back. Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 made $43 million, $43.6, so it's made $227 million already. Skyfall, Scott, you're disturbing me because you're twirling your mustache like Snidely Whiplash. It's creeping me out. Skyfall made $35.5 million. It was only down 13% from the weekend before.
Wow.
And how much was Twilight down?
69%, but that's expected. That wasn't really front-loaded. Bond never gets a dip like that. None of the Bond movies have, so that's fantastic word of mouth. $221 million. It's already the biggest grossing James Bond movie of all time, and it's still doing huge business, so wow. Lincoln, 25 million. It actually went up. It increased with 22%. So it's got 62 million. Rise of the Guardians, 23.7 million. That was a flop. It's actually seen as a huge disappointment. They expected it 40 or 50 million dollars. It didn't even make that since it opened on Wednesday. So
They've been marketing the hell out of that too.
it did not work.
Looks like shit.
There's a lot of people at DreamWorks losing jobs right now. Life of Pi actually opened pretty well. 22.4 million. It's at 30 million total. Wreck-It Ralph's holding on strong. It's got 16 million, almost in its fourth weekend, almost as much as Rise of the Guardians made opening weekend. Not good. And Red Dawn opened to 14.2 million for a $21 million total. That's actually not too bad, seeing the movie sat on the shelf for like 3 years. So
I think the producers of Skyfall should call us and thank us for not only giving a good review, but the spoiler cast, which I'm sure is responsible in large part for that small dip.
I
You're
agree.
welcome, MGM.
Yeah, exactly. MGM Sony, where's our check?
Right. All right, we have two films we're going to be talking about tonight. They open on December 7th. Deadfall opens in a limited release. This one was actually previously titled Ken and Blackbird. It's a 2012 crime drama directed by Stefan Rosowski from a screenplay by Zach Den. It stars Eric Bana, Olivia Wilde, and Charlie Hunnam, also known as Jax from Sons of Anarchy. Siblings Addison, played by Bana, and Lisa, played by Olivia Wilde, are on the run from a casino heist gone wrong. When a car accident leaves their wheelman and a state trooper dead, they split up and make a run for the Canadian border in the worst of circumstances, a near whiteout blizzard. Meanwhile, ex-con Jay, played by Charlie Hunnam, gets released from prison and calls his parents, June, Sissy Spacek, and retired Sheriff Chet, played by Chris Christopherson, that he'd be home for Thanksgiving. There, the two siblings have an unlikely reunion and much scuffling ensues. Now, Brian, you're pretty notorious as our resident bad boy / Duke boy. So what say you to this tale of crime and criminals?
If for no other reason, the cast, I want to see this movie. I think Eric Bana is one of those guys that maybe doesn't get enough quality roles. I think
Seriously underrated.
Absolutely. Charlie Hunnam this is probably his launch pad from TV recognition, since Sons of Anarchy will probably be wrapping up in the next probably 2 or 3 years. I think this could be the launching pad for his movie career. Olivia Wilde she's a good actress. I love Chris Christopherson and Sissy. They're both pretty good actors and actresses. So I don't know. I'm all in for this.
What about the rest of you?
I think the trailer looks good. I'm really interested in it, but it's going to be one of those movies that will never hit nationwide. It'll end up going direct to
absolutely.
hit DVD, and that's where people will find it. I really
Why
like.
is that? Because Olivia Wilde's a pretty big name. Eric Bana is not exactly an unknown.
Well, sometimes that happens. I mean, they get in a movie, and whatever, the studio doesn't push it the way they want to. Eric Bana's not bankable, though. He's
Right.
not bringing money to the table when he opens a movie.
He looks fantastic in this, though.
I think he looks great. It looks like the best role he's had in a long time. And
Ever since the Hulk.
yeah, not including the Hulk. Charlie Hunnam, I really want the kid to break out. I think he's a really good actor, but his breakout's going to be Pacific Rim. That comes out next year. That's his big break. I do want to see it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to come to a theater near me.
Well, as soon as it hits iTunes, I'll be on it.
Yeah, it's probably one of those like iTunes or Netflix hits that they just, like say, it just won't translate for whatever reasons well in the theater.
Playing for Keeps is a romantic comedy directed by Gabrielle Marconi, starring Gerard Butler with Jessica Biel, Uma Thurman, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Judy Greer, and Randy Quaid. I'm sorry, Dennis Quaid.
You can
I
go
get those
fuck
confused all the
yourself,
time.
sir. Fuck yourself.
A former professional athlete, played by Gerard Butler, with a weak past, tries to redeem himself by coaching his son's soccer team, only to find himself unable to resist when in scoring position with his players' restless and gorgeous moms. Scotty, I've always wondered why people would want to be fit and healthy and do dumb shit like sports. So is this it? Are we really just in it for the MILFs? Should I go see this to bone up on my cougar catching skills?
On the surface, this looks like just another cheap attempt at a romantic comedy, but I actually like Gerard Butler's character in this one. Again, downtrodden, sad guy in a tough spot. I think it looks like it could be fun, and it's got the kid father thing going on. Interesting, but I just don't like seeing romantic comedies in the theater. I'll catch it on DVD.
I think it looks good because Dennis Quaid's in it.
Oh, God.
No, actually, I don't. It's one I will rent. I would probably rent it. I'm not going to pay money to see it.
Yeah.
I'm just not. And honestly, because Silver Linings Playbook, they delayed the wide release, so it's finally supposedly coming out wide this weekend because they pushed it away from Thanksgiving. I'll probably just wait and see that. I don't see a desire to see this in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what bothers me is they could have just put Katherine Hagel in this, and it could have been any movie, really. Mm-hmm. It could have been about anything.
I like Gerard Butler a lot. He's whatever reason, he's too good looking or too whatever. I just don't feel sorry. He doesn't make me feel sorry for him.
You're like, dude, you're fucking handsome, and go fuck yourself. All right, guys, we've got these two films, Deadfall playing for keeps. I think since Deadfall is limited and probably won't be hitting theaters, this is an easier choice than normal, but fuck it. We're going to keep them both in. Of these two films, which one are you most likely to go see in a theater? Aaron?
Deadfall if it comes to a theater.
All right. Scotty?
Same for me.
All right, and Brian?
Of course, me too.
All right, let's make it a foursome. Not in the gross way. Awkward.
Not in the pestering kind of way.
Deadfall, go.
Now, if they would have cast Dennis Quaid in the lead, I might have changed my opinion. I'm just saying. So
but then it would have been called something like Playing for Hips or, Weak in the Knees, something like that.
The Geritol Diaries.
Where to hear us? You can subscribe on iTunes, Google, your Stitcher Radio app. Give us a thumbs up if you do, in any RSS feed, and RockfordCollegeRadio.com, Thursdays from 4 to 6.
What's this movie?
What's this movie? Each week we play ours or a listener-suggested clip from a movie, and if you think you know what the clip is, email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsider.com or send us a direct message on Twitter at @H_outsider, and we will announce those that got it correct on the air and give you a proper ho shout-out. Last week's answer was planes, trains, and automobiles. Those that got it correct, and yes, we know it was kind of an easy one, but it felt appropriate given the holiday. Those that got it correct were Jared S., Scott M., who also gave me the answer for the Die Hard 3 equation, even though the movie does not say it correctly, Michael W.H. and Jared S. So congratulations, guys. And this week, a listener, Dan M., actually suggested a movie clip, so we are going to play his. So if you think you know what this is, email us or twat us.
Difference does any of this make now? You're getting a divorce.
Mother,
What?
is it possible for you to shut the fuck up for 10 seconds?
Lloyd, don't talk to me like that in my own house.
You know what, Mom? You know what I'm going to get you next Christmas? A big wooden cross. So every time you feel unappreciated for all your sacrifices, you can climb on up and nail yourself to it.
Okay, we're back. Now let's go to TV and home video news. TV legend Larry Hagman, passed away. Sorry.
Yeah,
Larry.
let's, in all seriousness, the guy is a legend. And it's only appropriate that people should, mark his passing with a little bit of silence and respect. Of course, everybody remembers him as J.R. Ewing. He took that role and turned it into one of the most iconic characters in the history of television. Even people who never saw the show know the phrase "Who shot JR?" So the fact that he's now passed away it's sad. He did die at the age of 81 from cancer complications. And sadly, his health had been declining for a while, so they knew this was coming. But the man was a trooper, was filming up until the very end. I mean, they were filming season 2, and he had appeared in, I think, like 6 episodes of season 2 before he passed away. So you can't say the guy was resting on his laurels. I don't know how they're going to handle his death in the show, but hopefully they will do it with some style and grace, much like the man himself.
And you watched the new show. Was he still pretty good? Was he holding up?
He was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. And I am sad to see him go, not just because he's a good actor and I like the roles and the way he performed them, but just because as a guy, everything I've read about him has been nothing but flattering and nice. The guy was apparently just quite the charmer and the nice guy.
I used to love I Dream of Jeannie as a kid.
I watched Nick at Night reruns those
Unfortunately,
good.
that role I never believed, because if I've got a genie that hot, willing to do whatever the fuck I want, it is not a show fit for television. But the man was a legend, and I'm sorry to see him pass away.
From all of us.
My best to his family.
Now to really stupid news, because apparently this show can't go a season without causing some kind of turmoil. The half a guy from the 2.5 Men show is vocally being a whine-tart about his job and was urging viewers to stop watching. And apparently now he will not be on this season's last 2 episodes.
Yeah, the kid Angus T. Jones, who plays the kid in 2.5 Men, was recorded saying, "Don't watch the show. It's crap. It's
filth.
Just don't watch it. It's just filth."
Well, he's right.
Pretty much. The whole crux of the show is basically sex humor. And I guess what I gathered was he's fairly religious. So, I kind of, in a way, kind of respect him for coming out and saying that. But then he didn't really recant his statement the next day. He did come out with a statement saying, "Hey, look, I appreciate the opportunity that I've been given with this, and I totally respect and care for everybody that I work with." But, he never really recanted his statement about not watching it. So
Yeah, that to me sounds like a publicist saying, "Man, you are costing us millions."
It pisses me off that this kid has made so much money from the show only to turn around and bite the hand that's fed him so much. If he was willing to give up all that money that he's made off of this supposed piece of shit show, then I would take anything he said a lot more seriously than I do right now.
I agree.
I think he's young. He doesn't know any better. He's obviously got some influences behind him. I think the kid just doesn't know any better. I mean, he's young. He's not 30 years old. He's not 35. He's not Charlie Sheen, for Christ's sake. Charlie Sheen should have known better. This kid has no idea what he's doing. He's been doing this since he was a little kid. I think it's all he knows, and he got in with these people. Maybe he finally feels loved because he's tired of people taking from him, because obviously he's making a lot of money, and I'm sure there's a lot of people trying to get at that money. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm sure there's more to why this kid is in the position that he's in. I agree with Justin. I don't really feel sorry for him, but if you're going to make those kind of comments and tell people to stop watching it, it's filth and everything else, then you should probably stop doing it. I feel bad for John Cryer. That poor guy cannot get a break to save his life. He's like, he finally thinks, you know what, Ashton Kutcher came on. That took a while. People were watching the show again. Yeah. Oh, wait, now the other guy's fucking me?
I do.
I think he seems like a nice guy. And he just keeps, he gets pestered no matter which way he looks.
Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sci-Fi is considering a Waterworld remake, either as a movie where there's probably a mecha shark, or a television series.
Did they not look at the books from the first Waterworld movie?
The books.
As far as how much money that movie, it was like one of the biggest flops ever, right?
It was. It's kind of a cult hit. You like it.
I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. But
I'm sure there's more people out there like
it didn't make any money.
I loved it.
I loved Waterworld. I don't get the hate for it whatsoever.
Nope.
But
it opens with a dude pissing and then drinking his own piss. How can you not love that film?
That's a good point. It's a good point.
It's not a good point. It's not a good point at all.
I love that universe. The concept was great. It's got a sci-fi twist in it. The world is covered in water.
So do you want to see a remake or a TV series?
I do, but I don't want them to spend as much money as they did on the movie. Well,
trust me,
I don't want sci-fi doing it. That's the problem I've got. I am a fan. I don't know about a fan of the movie. I like the concept of the movie. I don't know if it was maybe it done correctly, I guess is probably the best way. I think that they kind of screwed the pooch on that a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I like the idea of the movie. I like the general concept of the movie and the general plot. I don't want sci-fi touching it because sci-fi makes shitty movies.
Well, what they could do is they could call it Battlestar Galactica, Waterworld, because anything they do with that attached to it, in my opinion, it's pretty fucking good shit. Everything else sucks, so maybe.
I think they could, I guess, with that concept, they could make a series out of it. But I agree. Outside of BSG, they haven't done anything. Anything. I mean, how many octopus, mega shark movies have they made?
I'm sure it's going to be, they're not going to have a giant freaking 3,000-foot shark jumping out of the water and attacking Kevin Costner.
I don't know,
That
man.
would be awesome.
It's called Waterworld. There seems to be a lot of water. Maybe they're trying to merge some genres together.
But when I saw,
you're just being silly.
but one of the things about Waterworld, as much as I love the movie, it almost felt like it ended too quickly. Like I wanted that drawn out for them finding dry land.
2.5 hours was too quickly?
No, I'm saying like I think it would make more.
Depends on who you are, you know what I'm saying?
I think it would work as a series for that because you could do it either a season finale or a series finale with them finally finding it, as opposed to just the 2-hour film.
I mean, I agree with you. I believe if Sci-Fi is handling this, I would rather see it as a series. They still have kind of a knack of screwing that up, but it would be better than a movie because their movies are horrible.
I will take this moment real quick since I actually brought up BSG. A while ago, we talked about a Blood and Chrome that the Sci-Fi was going to be releasing online in a series of episodes, and then next year they're going to release it as a film all cut together, and I think a little extended, and on Blu-ray and whatnot. I watched all of the episodes of Blood and Chrome that are available online. It is very good. It evokes what made Battlestar Galactica, the remake, so damn good. It's obvious that it's filmed mostly on a green screen with all the backgrounds being computer done, but it's not so obvious that you feel like it's cheap. It looks really sharp. The actors that are all involved, the storyline so far is phenomenal. And so I highly recommend that anybody who likes BSG go online, go to YouTube, look for Blood and Chrome, and start watching the episodes. They're only like 7 or 8 minutes. I think one of them's 2 episodes together, and it's like 12 minutes. Blood and Chrome, well worth the watch if you're a BSG fan. Yes. I wish this was a TV show.
And speaking of DVD, let's go to DVD and Blu-ray, Scotty.
All right, this is for the week of December 4th. The first one is Dark Knight Rises. We talked about that on episode 52. You can check out our reviews there. Justin and I gave it an 8 out of 10. Aaron gave it a 7.50, and Brian gave it a 6. Also, Hope Springs. This is the romantic comedy with Meryl Streep and Tommy Lee Jones. The Odd Life of Timothy Green. That's a Disney movie about a boy who's part plant.
Yeah, he's born in the backyard or something.
Looks odd. VHS, which we also reviewed. That's the horror flick that has about 5 or 6 different stories all tied into it. We talked about that on episode 57. Justin gave it a 5 out of 10. Aaron gave it 5.50 out of 10. And Brian gave it a 4 out of 10. Next up is Butter, starring Jennifer Garner. Doesn't sound as exciting as...
Put some swagger in it. Butter.
Well, depends on what she's doing with that butter.
That's what I was
Why
thinking.
am I perving out all of a sudden?
I don't know, but you keep
God!
going.
I'll
what
be
do you
right
mean
back. I got to go take care of something.
And what do you mean by all of a sudden?
That's true.
Jennifer Garner is playing a butter carver. So she's actually doing art with butter. Not what you were hoping for. Silent Night. You know how there's those holiday horror movies? This is one of those. This guy dresses up as Santa and murders people on Christmas Eve.
It's a remake of the classic.
Yeah.
I use that term loosely.
I was going to say, was that in quotes? Or
Yeah.
And then lastly, Halo 4 Forward into Dawn that Justin just mentioned is now available on DVD as well. Oh, also TV, we've got Eastbound and Down. The 3rd season is available as well.
That's a really stupid and really funny show.
I got to buy that 3rd season.
Yeah. Is it that good? I haven't watched it.
It's really stupid, but it's funny.
Right.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Hit me with that unknown shit. Flashback.
All right, with that, we'll move on to our Flashback DVD and Blu-ray segment. This is where each week one of our hosts recommends a little-known or obscure film that we hope that you'll give a chance. This week it's Aaron's turn. So, Aaron, sell us your movie, brother.
Okay. Well, normally when I do a flashback, it's usually something dark or violent. This week I thought I'd go a little lighter, and I'm going to go with Basketball. If you guys haven't seen Basketball, which apparently nobody did because they made like $8 in the theater, it's got Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the guys that do South Park. And basically what they do is they invent a sport in their driveway that is Justin's kind of sport because you don't actually have to do anything. You just basically sit around and try to throw a giant ball into a hoop. The movie is ridiculous. It's a little ludicrous. They make fun of every sport and every sporting convention you can think of. It's really vulgar, it's foul, and it's hilarious. It's probably one of my all-time favorite comedies, and nobody's seen it. But it makes me laugh every time I watch it, no matter how ridiculous it is. Why these guys didn't get catapulted from this movie, I'll never understand. But it's directed by the guy, or it's from the guys that did Naked Gun. So, I mean, there's a lot of humor behind it. So, that's my flashback this week. Basketball.
For a guy that hates dick and fart jokes, I'm surprised.
That's one of the few movies I can stomach it because they get a lot of clever stuff too. It's not just dicking for a joke. They get a lot of clever humor, and some of the stuff is pretty funny. I mean, in the locker room when they have their fake dongs all the way hitting the floor, that's a little much. But overall, it's just a pretty funny.
He turns around and goes,
yeah, it's a lot of South Park humor. I mean, the movie really is a lot of South Park humor, so it's pretty funny. Now let's go to your Stump the Hoe answer. It was Sean's, one of our listeners, Sean's question. He said, as all of you are fans of The Walking Dead, he thought he'd give us the Stump the Hoe question. As you know, the writer, creator of The Walking Dead series is Frank Darabont. What you may not remember is he is also the writer and director of Stephen King's theatrical adaptation of The Mist in 2007. In that movie, there are actors that later went on to star in The Walking Dead. How many of them are in both The Mist and The Walking Dead? A, 5, B, 7, C, 11, D, 3. Justin said 5. Scotty said B, 7. And Brian, he got it correct with 3. Congratulations, Brian. You're the smartest Link.
Once again.
And the people that were in both, Laurie Holden, who plays Andrea on The Walking Dead, Jeffrey DeMunn, who played Dale. Jeffrey DeMunn was actually in Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption as well. So he's a Frank Darabont favorite. And Melissa McBride, who plays Carol.
That's only 3.
Yeah, that's what I said. 3.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I said 5.
Yeah, the right answer.
Yeah.
Which is what I said.
Yeah, the correct
Justin just
answer.
assumed he was
he
right.
played Daryl, indicating he no longer plays Daryl, indicating that Daryl died. Way to spoil shit.
Dale.
That's what I said.
Yeah, jeez. You can't spoil stuff when you can't even get the name right, Chief.
Fuck off.
So, let's go to our From the Outside In
Damn
topic.
it!
Let's go to our From the Outside In. We didn't spoil anything. He's being an asshole.
Okay.
From the Outside In topic this week. Every year, there are tons of Christmas movies, TV shows, and otherwise shit that floods our airwaves. Which ones or which yearly traditions do we just not get? For example, like It's a Wonderful Life, or shows that do Christmas episodes, or Christmas Vacation. I mean, all this stuff. What are the stuff that we just don't get? Scott?
For me, the biggest one is the movie White Christmas. I'm a big fan of musicals, and that movie just bores the crap out of me, and I don't get it. I like musicals that have a interesting Christmas story, not one that's just tacked on to be a concert. And that's what White Christmas feels like to me. My wife loves that movie. I don't understand it. It's highly praised. It's just a bunch of crooners on stage, and it just bores the crap out of me.
That's true. It is kind of a boring musical.
Yeah.
I like the music, though.
Well, yeah, the music's
Isn't that what
good,
the musical's supposed to be?
but it's music I want to hear in a department store, not for 2 hours on my television screen.
I'm probably going to get some flack for this one, just because. But it's, to me, while it was funny, it was funny at the time. I don't see it. To me, it just doesn't, I guess, translate well, or maybe it just doesn't hold up as well as it used to for me. But that's A Christmas Story.
You shut your fucking mouth.
I'm on board, brother. That's what I have too. I hate that fucking
Dump
movie.
him. Dump.
I don't. I don't hate it. I just don't understand why we've got to watch it for 24 straight hours on TBS or TNT, wherever it is they show
Because it's
it.
the best Christmas movie ever made.
No, you're totally wrong. Sorry.
It ain't Die Hard.
That's true. It's not Die Hard. That's much better.
No, I mean, for me personally, I'd much rather watch Christmas Vacation, 24 hours, straight hours, instead of A Christmas Story.
Mm-hmm.
I think back in whatever it was, 84 or something like that?
Yeah, it was early 80s.
Yeah, I mean, it was early, mid-80s. It was funny then. But I just don't, I guess, I just don't get the cult attraction for that movie that apparently a lot of people have.
And
I know why.
Well, hang on. I will back him before you go on your 27-minute rant. I have never, ever found that movie funny. Ever. I've seen it 20 times because I've watched it over and over, and I just don't find it funny. I try. Every year I try. So many people love it, I figure it has to be me. But outside
It is you.
No, it's
it is
obvious.
You are both dumb. And you are especially dumb.
So many people love it. I just don't get it, man. Outside of shooting your eye out and sticking your tongue in a flagpole, nothing's funny in that movie. Nothing.
Everything is funny
I
in that movie. If you don't get it, it's because you got no heart.
No, I get it, Justin. I hate when people use that argument. If you don't like something, it's because you don't get it. No, everybody gets it. It's just not funny. It's not funny.
No.
Right.
No, I'm sorry.
I do find
If you have 100 people watch something and 95 say it's A and 5 dickheads say B, 95% of those people are probably right. They probably did get something you didn't.
Do you realize who's making this argument?
Now, I will grant you, I have often been on the other side of those 95 people. So I am fully willing to admit sometimes I like stupid shit or I don't like good shit. But A Christmas Story is unequivocally the best Christmas movie ever made. It is hysterical as shit. Most people, probably the vast majority of people, agree with me, especially TBS and all the fine folks who watch it all day long. So you are wrong, and I have proven it with math.
Brian, can you spell hypocrite?
Let's go watch The Mist.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of halfway on this whole argument because I do love the movie. I loved it more when I was younger, especially because it's something my brother watched, and there's 2 brothers in this movie that are about the same difference in age than me and my brother were. I watch this movie every year with my brother, tradition, and I still laugh at this stuff. And just a lot of this stuff is what happened to us when we were kids.
How do piggies eat?
Yeah, not laughing.
That's right. Oink,
That's
oink.
Yeah, see, Brian and I are just sitting here going, yeah, you guys sound
just
stupid.
Crickets, man. That's all I'm hearing.
A lot of the hate for this movie is because of it being drilled into the ground. The fact that TBS
Scott,
pays.
No, it's
since
not.
day
I mean,
one, I have not liked it. It has nothing to do with it. It didn't become a cult hit until years
I
later.
can't tell you how many times I've watched it just because that's what you're supposed to do during the holidays.
Yeah.
And and again, like Aaron, I just don't. I've tried. I said, okay, all right, I'm giving this another shot, and it just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, you know what? There's just no cure for dumb.
There's a sequel out now, too. We should go.
I will not watch that. Do not speak of it.
I bet you maybe that one's funny.
Doubt
No,
it.
I kind of have to see it now at this point.
Okay, well, Justin, do you have any?
I actually don't. When it comes to holiday films, even the ones that don't really trip my trigger, like your It's a Wonderful Life, it didn't really do anything for me, but it does a lot for a lot of other folk, and it's certainly not pissing me off that it's out there. I have a very emotional reaction to the holiday season. There are so many memories associated with winter and Christmas that I can look back on with my grandparents and watching a honeymooner marathon that was on their little black and white TV. I love this season. There is not one thing about it I don't like. One of my favorite things is waiting for the Sirius radio to get that holiday music playing again. I tune that shit in. I'm a sap for Christmas. Not a single movie they do upsets me in the least little bit. A Christmas Story, especially.
I'm sorry.
My wife and I will put TBS on, and we will leave it on all day. So as we're coming and going through the house, we can stop at any point, watch it for 5 minutes, have a good laugh, and then move on, do something else, come back, and it's moved on to something else. It makes me laugh, makes her laugh. I even own it on Blu-ray just in case I get an itching in the middle of the year.
Because you need that on Blu-ray, really?
I love that film. I mean, oh gosh. Him swearing, but he didn't say, oh fudge. All that shit. How do piggies eat? Sticking your tongue on the metal pole. I remember doing that as a kid. It's hysterical shit.
I said that one's funny. That's the only that and shooting your eye out. That's it. That's all I
and
got.
the whole scene where he's imagining his teacher looking at his paper and just, oh my God, finally a good piece of writing. Thank you for saving me from the doldrums of everybody else's shit. I've had that same fantasy when I was a kid of being the one, and still the one smart person in the room. The whole shooting your eye out, the soap in the mouth. There is not a moment in there that I don't think's funny.
That is funny. You're right. There's not a moment in there that's
and
funny.
Thankfully, there are millions of people who agree with me, and so few of you.
No, I know a lot of people that agree with me. So, I mean, if we want to
Well,
bring
you
them
know
all
what
on,
dumb people,
we'll bring
with
all
no hearts.
them on, and the heartless people.
The heartless wretches that Aaron knows.
Let's actually see what the numbers actually are. If you're listening to this show, email in and give us a thumbs up or thumbs down for Christmas
Yeah,
Story.
let's see how many emails we get.
And then see. Let's actually see if his math of 95 to 5% actually pans out.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it doesn't, please don't tell me, because I don't want my faith in humanity to be
It doesn't
shaken.
matter, Justin. If this was on the other side of the coin, you'd totally be saying, nope, you're still wrong. You're wrong.
Nope.
Those 95% of people are
Yeah,
fucking idiots.
It's been proven. So
95% of people are fucking wrong.
you can all bite the balls. And they're painted red and gold and green.
One of my things was with DVD and Netflix, why do shows keep doing Christmas episodes anymore? It weirds me out when I start watching a show, because usually I don't, see them when they first come on. And if you don't see it that week it comes on and you watch it like the next year, it's just weird. I can't watch those episodes. Those Christmas episodes, I can't watch them.
It doesn't bother me in that sense, because I actually enjoy that, because it reminds me of when I actually watched it on TV. It reminds me of that Christmas season.
You and me, we're like peas and carrots here, bro.
What bugs me about those holiday episodes that they do is when they air that episode after the holiday has passed. As an example, this past Thanksgiving, they played all the Thanksgiving episodes for Animation Domination or whatever the Sunday after Thanksgiving. All these advertisements for these Thanksgiving episodes after the holidays already passed.
There's a Thanksgiving-themed animation episode outside of Charlie Brown?
No, like it was like Family Guy and whatever, the Cleveland Show, and
that's just really not one of those holidays you expect to see a whole lot of animated classics.
Well, I'm just using an example. When
turkeys attack.
Well, the Simpsons. The Simpsons have always run their Halloween episode like the week, the Sunday after Halloween. So, I mean, maybe it's a Fox thing or something. I don't know.
But wouldn't it make more sense to do it the week before the holiday if it doesn't fall on the day of the holiday?
Yeah, but for some reason they do it different.
That's what bugs me about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, the Netflix thing doesn't bother me, because still most people put shows on TV to watch currently, not for 6 months down the road, 8 months down the road when it goes to Netflix or DVD releases. So,
I think you got to evolve with your audience, man. A lot of people buy their shows on DVD. I mean, I do that. A lot of people do.
Yeah, but until they start streaming, like they putting it on Netflix the day after it airs, then it doesn't make sense to not do it, because when they air it in a holiday-friendly time slot.
Okay.
So it's relevant. So when you watch it 9 months later, before the next season starts, yeah, it's not relevant. But, you should have watched it 9 months ago when it was fucking aired the first time.
Well, plus
not waiting for it to come out on Netflix.
When you're in a season that has got a lot of seasons, like 9 or 10 seasons, and then they do that one episode that does a recap of all the Christmas episodes or Thanksgiving episodes, I love those. I think those Friends did that in that series. I love that show. Make fun of me all you want. They did this remember all these Christmas memories or whatever. I like that.
Okay.
Well, and even if we lived in a pure Netflix world, I like that these shows will do episodes focusing on, the time of year that it's being filmed or when it's being shown. I like that it adds a bit of time passing on these shows. They have seasons that are going on. To completely ignore the seasons, it kind of makes every episode just look like every other episode.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like it.
No.
That's how I like it.
God, you're wrong all over the place.
Okay, well, before we go to recasting the classics, I do have one thing I want to tell Hollywood if they're listening. Please stop trying to force Christmas movies down our throat, making them a tradition when they aren't. Like Polar Express, I'm tired of you trying to make it a Christmas tradition. It's not. Tom Hanks looks like a child molester. The whole movie looks like a giant child molester training film. I don't like it. Please stop trying to make them annual events. They'll become events on their own. Christmas Story became one on its own. Christmas Vacation on its own. We don't need all your jamming it down our throats. Now let's try recasting the classics, Justin.
All right, this is a segment of the show where we hoes are given a classic film and then asked to recast 5 of the actors or actresses in it with modern-day actors. The people who get these roles can pick whoever they want. They don't even have to obey the gender or the nationality, ethnicity of the actors originally in it. They just need to be able to defend their choices. Last week, this was Brian wanted Scotty to recast Grease, and the 5 actors that he chose, or characters rather, were Danny, Sandy, Rizzo, Kanicki, and Principal McGee. Scotty, you weren't on last week, but I'm assuming you were given a little bit of notice so you could do some thought on this. What'd you come up with?
I'm going to start with the obligatory Justin McCumber sigh.
There you go. $5, please.
And that's exactly pretty much what I did when I listened to last week's episode and heard that this is what Brian chose.
Wait. Not the episode, just this part, right? Because we were rocking without you.
It was okay. I know I like musicals. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I freaking hate Grease. I hate that movie so much, which made this.
What?
I hate it.
Is there not one of you that I can't walk away from tonight going, he's still a good dude? All of you are shitting on me tonight.
So this was difficult for me because the three of you got to all recast a movie that you absolutely loved. I had to pick one that I've got a vendetta against ever since I saw it. But with that said, I put some good thought into it, and I came up with what I think for modern day people for this movie. And again, when you're doing modern day, you're going to have to do people that are of high school age. So the lead, Danny, trying to think of a guy that's good looking and can sing. Best I can come up with is Zac Efron.
Fair enough.
I knew it.
So it's kind of an easy answer, but hey, it's not Justin Bieber, which a lot of people are vying for. He's saying he wants to be.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine that? That would be so awful. Sandy was an easy choice for me, especially after seeing Rock of Ages. Julianne Hough, I think, would be perfect for the role of Sandy.
Oh,
She's got an amazing voice. She actually kind of looks like old school Olivia Newton-John, so I think that would work. Rizzo was... What's that?
Stretch pants.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That would be pretty good.
Can we not be awkward right now? And
No, right now, Sandy, no, we must be a little awkward.
Rizzo was a little more difficult because the actor that played her was kind of different looking, and I wanted to find someone that had that same quality but had a good voice as well.
What is different looking? Please qualify that.
She's not attractive.
I
Is she a little heavy? Because we know Scott's predilection.
Once they hit triple digits, he drops them.
I picked Zooey Deschanel. For one thing, I've never seen Zooey Deschanel with a shorter haircut.
I like that. That's a good choice.
And she's got that deeper voice, not deeper voice, but not a
baritone.
Soprano. Yeah,
She's
I think
a little
that would
old
work
for it, but I could go with that.
Kaneki was my hardest one of all five of these because trying to find an actor that looks like he's going to be knocking somebody up. The best I could come up with was Channing Tatum because he can dance, he can sing, he's good looking. But that was a hard choice for me. Principal McGee, I had one right off the top of my head that I wanted, and I changed it at the last minute. I wanted Betty White at first, but I was like, no, that's not going to work. After thinking about it, I think Susan Boyle would work, even though she's not an actor. I'd like to see her in that role. She kind of looks like the principal from that movie. So those are my five.
You want to see her? Because last I heard about her, you thought she was fucking ugly.
She's not attractive, but that character's not supposed to be. The problem is that she apparently has wicked stage fright, from what I've heard. So that probably won't happen. So those are my choices. And I have to recast somebody else or give somebody else a movie to recast. And I'm going to give this one back to Brian right away. Maybe we'll go right around the horn.
Oh, snap.
I thought we were going round table.
No, it's whoever you want.
Whoever I want.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go around the horn and give it right back to Brian. Since I had to pick a movie that I didn't really like, I wanted to pick a movie that I really did like for Brian to do. So it's not as old as the others, but I want to see you recast Ferris Bueller's Day Off, one of my favorite comedies. I want you to recast Ferris Bueller, the main character, also Sloane Peterson, Cameron Fry, Principal Rooney, and Jeannie Bueller, which is Ferris Bueller's sister.
That's a hard one.
That is hard.
Nice choice.
Damn, dude.
All right, now we're going to talk about the spoiler rumor, and we're going to talk about it briefly because it's already dead.
Is it dead?
It's kind of dead. So the rumor's not dead, but but the facts are dead. So if you haven't seen Dark Knight Rises, we don't want to spoil it. Skip ahead like 2 minutes, and that way you won't be spoiled. There was talk. Okay, fast forward. Okay. Now, if you have seen Dark Knight Rises, you know how it ends. So there's talk that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in talks to be Batman for the Justice League movie. It's a major spoiler if you haven't seen it. Now, it's been confirmed now that by Joseph Gordon-Levitt's publicist that is completely false. That's not true. But we want to bring it up because everybody in the world's talking about it.
Whoa. Now, did they say that he didn't take the role, or are they just saying this isn't confirmed? Because there is a lot of ways you can deflect without actually saying it's not happening.
His publicist said it's completely false.
Yeah,
that means not true. 95% of the people in the world think it means not true.
It could come true.
You want it to come true.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I get it. I mean, a lot of people were talking about it, so a lot of people like the idea. It just doesn't seem like right now it's going to happen, but maybe if enough people rise up, then maybe they'll just jump on board. Who knows?
Well, why don't you leave the puns to me first off? Second off, how fucking awesome would it be if at the end of the Man of Steel, for a second, you saw the cowl? I would probably jizz all over myself and squee like a little baby girl.
I think you'll probably do that just being a Man of Steel on its own. You don't
It
really need
would
any
be an incredible moment to finally, on the big screen, join those two franchises together.
help. I love that idea. I don't like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So I don't really care to see him as Batman. It doesn't work to me.
Well, and we're in spoiler
Right.
territory at this point, right?
No, I don't want to...
I think he's like too small or something.
Yeah.
Well, shit,
He's
but
not as- he's
motherfucker
not
can
a-
lift some weights. I mean, it's...
Yeah, but he can't grow tall.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
I'm not
but
talking.
it's not necessarily a role, though, that you have to be physically imposing. I mean, didn't
Really?
No. I mean, hell,
Because
was...
Christian Bale was pretty physically imposing.
Christian Bale is a bigger guy, but what about...
Yeah, that's why he fits as Batman, and Joseph
the fucking
Gordon-Levitt doesn't.
first guy who played in the first Batman movie.
Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton. That motherfucker doesn't have an imposing bone
That's a
in his
Tim Burton
body.
movie. You can't count that.
Well, but when it fucking came out, everybody thought, oh, he's Batman. He's playing Batman. A lot of the modern Batman movies have played more off of the costumes sculpting and less off of the actual muscles of the characters. I think he could play the role. He could definitely get into a gym and get beefed up a little bit if he wanted to. The whole thing with this, though, is that if they do want to do a Justice League movie, I don't understand how they're going to be able to do it with having such a recent Batman series and having Superman now coming out, and yet not having someone from those films in it, because you go in and all of a sudden there's a completely different Superman, a completely different Batman character we've never seen before. It's going to feel a little off, and I think it's put not Walt Disney, Warner Brothers into kind of a difficult position.
Well, we'll see what happens. I am not a fan of Joseph Gordon-Levitt being Batman. I agree with Brian completely. He does not fit the role. I think he was fine in what he played in Dark Knight Rises, and I think that's where it should end.
I agree.
I'm sorry. I mean, all three of us agree. So if 95% of the people,
I guess
Well,
that's
the movie's
75%,
also
so I guess it doesn't
three-
equal Justin's 95.
There's a lot to change.
I'm with Justin, though. I do like the idea of a little something at the end of.
no, I agree with that. That sounds fantastic. I just don't think he should be it.
That's two totally different subjects.
All
Well,
right.
even if it wasn't Joseph Gordon-Levitt, though, to have Batman show up in that Superman film would be an indicator of DC's willingness and Warner Brothers' desire to create a linking series of movies, which is exactly what Marvel did with their Avengers movies.
Okay. Picture this.
Okay, Joe Pesci.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
They fuck you at the drive-thru, okay? So, anyway, all right. You know they won't do this, but you know how every Superman movie ends with him flying over the city or the Earth, and he looks at the camera, kind of smiles, and takes off. Right? You end the movie like that, right? So you do the credits, and somewhere through the credits or at the end of the credits, you just catch his boots flying off. Camera pans back, and you see this shadowy cow, pointy-eared, shadowy figure sitting on top of a building watching him fly away.
Oh God, my nipples just got hard. Fuck. I want that to happen. Please, Warner Brothers. Please.
Okay, let's move on before we spend an all Batman podcast. I think we had one of those already.
You say that like that's a bad thing, Dick. And I don't mean Dick Grayson. I mean Dick.
Nice job. Okay, let's go to
See how I
emails.
tied that?
We had we had a tweet that came from Tom B, who asked, hey, H_outsider, explain the love of Insidious to me. I thought it was one of the worst horror movies I'd ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, Justin agrees with you. I don't think any of us ever said it was fantastic. We just said it had an original concept. It was a real low budget. They made it work. It wasn't great, but it's an interesting little find. It's kind of what Brian and I said. So nobody said it was fantastic or that we love it. We just, think that you could take that concept and with a bigger budget and the actors returning, you could make a little bit something more interesting out of it.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, you're scrolling through Netflix and you're looking at the horror movies. I don't know about how your likes and how you rate your movies and all that stuff, but probably 90% of the horror movies that I've got on my list, all are maybe 1 to 2 stars.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's not a lot of good quality ones on there.
This is one and this is one of those that, yeah, it's not the greatest horror movie ever, but it's one of those pleasant surprises. So therefore, it sticks in your head as being a quote unquote good movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one more email. It says, "Come on, guys, that was too easy and too obvious a choice given the holiday. Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's kind of why we did it. But you need to play the whole quote. Unfortunately, we can't because it's like 2 minutes long. Trust me, I wish we could have. I love the punchline, 'You're fucked.' It makes me laugh out loud every time. I think every radio station I listened to before Thanksgiving referenced this movie as the quintessential Thanksgiving movie, and it is a great one to be sure. Honestly, I think it's like the only Thanksgiving movie.
Thanksgiving movies are there.
And along these lines, I have a recommendation for a lesser-known Christmas movie. He's the one that referenced the movie clip, so if you think you know what it is, make sure you email us. And as always, keep up the great work. I love listening. P.S. This will make Justin happy because finally 95% of the world agrees with him. Justin was spot on with So I Married an Axe Murderer, a classic from back in the day. Thanks, Dan M.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Well, but you did a good job admitting you were wrong earlier. I just wish you could continue to follow the trend. And
As soon as I'm wrong again, I'll let you know.
It'll have backup music.
Make sure to stay through the credits for outtakes. You can always find us at thehollywoodoutsider.com or on facebook.com/The Hollywood Outsider. Email us at feedback@thehollywoodoutsider.com. Please tell your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Reader, listen on your Stitcher Radio app. Give us a thumbs up if you do, or any RSS feed. As always, RockfordCollegeRadio.com Thursdays from 4 to 6. Thanks to each of the bitches that are with me every week. Brian Williams, thanks for being here, buddy.
my pleasure.
Scott Clark, Child's Play.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. You want me to talk about it again?
No, please, not the whole thing, but
All
just
right.
real quick, what it is.
Donation drive for kids in hospitals, childsplaycharity.org. So far, I have raised about $230, excuse me.
To bring joy to children at Christmas.
Yeah. So thanks to all those that donated, Justin included.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And Justin McCumber, also host of the Dead Robot Society and author of what?
Haywire, which is already out, and on December 17th, A Minor Magic.
Oh, they pushed it back a little bit? Give you some time?
2 weeks.
Nice. Is it on Amazon yet?
I think it was actually listed, but not available yet.
Okay. Well, guys, look for that. A Minor Magic by Justin R. McCumber.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that? Can you say that in your movie tone voice?
Oh, you put me on the spot. A Minor Magic by Justin R. McCumber.
No, that sucked, dude.
Yeah, that's good.
I blew my water earlier. Sorry.
Make sure you can also check out our James Bond Skyfall spoiler cast that's still out. And next week, we will be reviewing The Collection, which most people don't even know what that is. So if you listened to our show last week, you might have a better idea. But it's a sequel to a movie we're big fans of. A new From the Outside In topic and more next week on the Hollywood Outsider. And remember, guys, the next time you go to a theater, buy popcorn.
Pussy wagon.
I'll go through and edit
whatever.
it somehow.
He'll edit. He'll work his magic. It'll sound better.
I hope so.
God, me too.
You put this mic in front of my face, and for whatever reason, I can't. I feel like I can't get over that hump.
It's like when Aaron puts his dick in front of your face, you ain't sure what to do with it.
Oh, he
no.
knows.
Now, how does Aaron pronounce synopsis? Synopsis?
Synopsize?
Cinnamons? We love you. It's all done in fun.
That's our way of showing our love. We don't know actual affection, so we pick on you.
She runs around. She's like, say it, do it, do the Antonio Banderas. And she's Spanish, so I do it well. That's what I'm thinking.
Most of Aaron's girlfriends also like cartoons. Before But my point is I can do it to anybody else, no problem. For whatever reason.
You feel that? That's pride fucking with you.
Fuck pride.
And I
That
just
may
bought 'em on
taste like
Blu-ray.
fucking pumpkin pie, but I wouldn't know because I ain't eating the filthy motherfucker.
Yeah,
Okay.
Brian, why don't you quote Pulp Fiction? You can't say any of it without getting arrested.
Hey, why do you think I got my mic muted?
We're gonna have spoiler-free reviews of Red Dawn and Life of Pi. And we have syphilis. Our From the Outside In topic this week is Christmas movies, TV shows. All right.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus. Well, it sounded like you tried to trip me up, but you kept going.
I sure did.
Props, man. That was.
But he kept trying to fuck me up. He's determined.
I was not going to be ignored, motherfucker.
It's like Glenn Close up in this bitch.